there is a story. All right, we'll wrap up with the story. It's a beautiful story. Yes. The question is, how would that realization fulfill all our desires? That is the question. Everything that we could have ever wanted in life, how does it fulfill our desires? The answer is in this story. Long ago, there was a king and a queen. Of course, every story begins that way. And they had a son, a prince, who was a little boy, 5 years old. And then one day in the court of the king and the queen, there was a dramatic performance. And in the dramatic performance, one of the characters was the Princess of Kashi. Kashi is a place in India, you know that. So, Princess of Kashi, that was the role. And they wanted somebody to play the Princess of Kashi who was a little girl. They couldn't find anybody, but the cute little boy was there. So the queen said, you can dress him up as a princess and he will play the role of the king, Princess of Kashi. And that was done. And he looked so cute. The queen said, draw a picture of him, a painting. And they drew. There was no way of taking a selfie at that time. So they drew this painting and they wrote it below that, the Princess of Kashi, and so on and so forth. All right. And then the years passed and the king and queen got older. The prince grew up. And 15 years later, when he was 20, one day, he was exploring his father's old palace, the old rooms and all. And he comes across this storeroom and he sees this picture with a cute little girl, Princess of Kashi. And below that, the date is given 15 years ago. So she would be around, he thinks it's my age. And he falls in love with her. And he comes back up, but he cannot tell anybody. He's shy. He can't tell his father or his mother. His father scolds him and his mother keeps on asking him, what's wrong with you? Why don't you eat? Why don't you study? Why don't you go out hunting like all other prince is supposed to do? All the princely things are supposed to. You're not doing anything. But he's too shy to tell them. Finally, inevitably, the old wise minister comes and says, what ails you, prince? Tell me. And so he mumbles that, well, the Princess of Kashi, I've fallen in love with her and I want to marry her. And I will not marry anybody else. She's the one for me. The minister says, oh, very good. Where did you see the Princess of Kashi? Oh, I haven't seen her. You haven't seen her? No, I've seen her picture. Her picture? Where did you see the picture? Well, not her picture as she is now, but as she was 15 years ago. Where did you see this picture? Something begins to jog in the memory of the minister. Where did you see this picture? In our storeroom. There is a portrait of the princess. So take me there. And he takes the minister down there and they open the old storeroom and they take out the big portrait and the minister dusts it off and looks closely at it. And then he looks at the prince and says, Prince, you need to sit down. Sit down. I'll tell you something. What? Well, long ago we had this dramatic performance in the court and we needed a Princess of Kashi. We couldn't find it and there was a cute little boy who was dressed up as the princess. There's this other person who was dressed up as the Princess of Kashi, and it's not a real Princess of Kashi. This is the person who acted as the Princess of Kashi. And then he says, well, okay, but I'll marry her, whoever she is. And then the minister says, Prince, there's no she. That thou art. You are the one who was dressed up. You were a little 5-year-old boy. You were dressed up as a princess. And that's how the portrait was made. And that's why it says Princess of Kashi. There is no other Princess of Kashi. You are that. Now at that moment, the desire that the prince had for the Princess of Kashi, the desire goes away. Why does it go away? Because he married the Princess of Kashi? No. Why does it go away? Because he was frustrated, because he realized he couldn't marry the Princess of Kashi? No. It goes away because he realizes there is no such thing apart from himself. This universe is our Princess of Kashi. Swami Vivekananda says things are dead in themselves. We project life into them, then we run after them or we run away from them. They are nothing in themselves. We don't realize that. It is the Atman itself, the pure consciousness itself, which throws itself out as this universe and then identifies with a particular body and mind and then runs after certain things and runs away from other things. This whole universe is the Princess of Kashi. When we realize Brahman, we realize there is nothing in this universe apart from me. one with everything that exists, ever will exist, whatever existed. And that is liberation. That's when the individual soul, wandering from life to life, from birth to death, stops that wandering, stops this limited journey. Journey as a limited being, stops it, because it becomes the infinite, becomes the ocean. It stops traveling as a wave, it becomes the entire ocean. Or it was the ocean, it realizes itself as the ocean. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Okay, thank you.